What's up, believers? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Make Us Believe podcast, a wrestling podcast for fans by fans. I am one of your hosts, Michael.
And I'm Jon.
Today, we're going to be doing a brief recap of Night of Champions, which just happened this past weekend at the time of this recording. And then kind of just doing a once over of like what we liked and don't like as far as the storylines and kind of like where everything's headed for SummerSlam. So yeah, let's kick it off. Jon, Night of Champions, what were your thoughts?
I typically kind of view the Saudi shows as glorified house shows. There's been a few exceptions to that, but for the most part, it just kind of is something that the Saudis pay a lot of money for, so they get some big names and cool events. Overall, though, I didn't think it was that bad. I do feel like it pushed the storyline forward well. We got a King of the Ring finish. Overall, I'd give it a I don't know. I'd give it a B, I guess.
Okay, like that's fair. That's fair. I didn't think that it was anything stand out, nothing amazing. Obviously, it's not going to be, something that you expect out of one of the big four or anything, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Correct.
I like how you put that as like a glorified house show. Um, I always expect more of this, especially when it's something when they do land a big four, like a Royal Rumble or something. Um, but it never turns out to be anything other than that kind of house show feeling. Like it's just there to almost push push the storylines along rather than come to any kind of like meaningful resolution for some of the storylines.
Yeah, I agree. Another, and I'm being a little petty here, but another small issue that I had with it is traditionally Night of Champions is an event where every belt is defended, and
Hmm.
I get it. When they started doing Night of Champions, they they didn't have as many belts. I think they have like 10 or 11 belts now between the men and the women for main roster. So that would make for a super long evening when it's not one of your premier PLEs. But and I get some were defended on SmackDown, but even your world heavyweight champion Gunther isn't defending it at Saudi at all. Like he's waiting till Saturday night main event to defend it against Goldberg. So that again, I know I'm being a little petty on that. I guess I don't need if you're gonna cut some out, I'd say cut some mid cards out. Like maybe don't do the women's tag championship or I don't know. It's just like I said, it's a small thing, but I have to point it out. Night of Champions, every belt's supposed to be defended, and it was not.
You are hitting the nail on the head there, good sir. I have felt the same way about this PLE slash pay-per-view, whatever you want to call them, for a long time now. And they treat it like it's another normal PLE when its whole thing, like you said, it was like that was the entire gimmick was let's do every belt. Every belt is on the line, or at the very least, every match on the card was a championship match. Then I
Yeah,
get,
and I
like you
like
said,
that.
they have like, yeah, they have like 10 or 11 belts now, sure, but that means you could do every match would be a title match. Just because every belt isn't defended doesn't mean that every match isn't a title match kind of thing. Like they have that ability, and I feel like that was one of the real draws to that pay-per-view as a gimmick, you know? You
100%.
knew
And you have
that,
several matches that aren't title matches. Cut it out, cut
yeah,
it
yeah.
out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I feel a little cheated. I feel like it's gone downhill from that. Um, but yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It's kind of weird, the way that they're doing the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring now. Just as a single event rather, or a single match in a PLE rather than the entire buildup that, over the course of the entire, its own PLE. Um, I missed that aspect of it being more of a war of attrition rather than a big final match kind of thing. But is what it is.
Yep.
We always crave the nostalgia, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But it's still titled Night of Champions. So if you're not going to do it like that, change the name or retire that PLE, bring back, No Mercy or something.
Yeah. Yeah. We have there's a ton of them in that they have like just in the back that they have retired. They can absolutely bring
Oh
back.
yeah.
Just retire this one instead.
Yeah.
Bad
If you're
Blood
not going
would
to do it
be
that way, just
fantastic.
yeah. Yeah, totally cool with that.
Yeah. Um, okay, so I mean, let's get those out of the way. We'll start with the non-title matches, I guess. Um, let's go Street Fight, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, so you know
I
what? Good, good.
Yeah, yeah, I felt like this was a solid match. For two superstars who you typically don't see go like they don't get into the hardcore weeds a lot. Um,
Mm,
I mean, they don't need to. They're both imposing women on their own, right? Like these are two of the powerhouses in the division, and you don't need them to go crazy and hardcore and stuff. So letting them kind of let go and just go out and have fun, quote unquote. I think it actually turned out really well. They support each other. I feel like they have a good chemistry in the ring. Physically, they're able to, physically support each other, which makes the, the moves and everything that they're able to do with each other, um, you know, a lot easier than,
mhm.
trying to handle somebody that's way outside of your weight class or something. And honestly, I feel like this put more of a kind of more of a spotlight on Raquel and kind of gave some highlights for her stuff. Like she looked really good in this. So I was not necessarily mad at this match.
So I'll say this. The match exceeded my expectations by quite a bit. I did enjoy the match. My issues with the match really are mostly just the result. I don't need Rhea Ripley winning this match. Raquel's kind of been teased as somebody who is Rhea Ripley equivalent, but she never wins like Rhea Ripley. Like she's supposed to be this, bad bitch, right? Like she can, she's big, she's imposing, she's intimidating. But then whenever she has a big match, unless it's a tag match, she doesn't go over. So I, I at this point, I think that Rhea Ripley is stale. I wouldn't mind her going back to being heel. I know that she hasn't been face incredibly long. I just don't really love Rhea as a face. I get you have to do it because otherwise her as a heel is going to get stale. But I don't know. I think that this would have been a good opportunity if you put Raquel over to kind of make her like, I guess, solidify her as a real bad bitch in this division, right? Especially with Liv being out. But they kind of didn't do that. I felt like that was a missed opportunity. But overall, I agree. I still think she looked pretty good in this match. It was a pretty fun match. I enjoyed watching it. It's just at some point you're gonna want Raquel to go over on a big name so that she becomes a big name. Otherwise, she's just gonna be second to Liv in a faction that has three females now. So, where does she stand anymore? So I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. Overall, though, the match did exceed my expectations. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I think the problem is that Raquel is in a tag team right now. And on top of that, it's a heel tag team. So it's not even like she can just go out and be a Rhea Ripley type person
Mm-hmm.
in the tag division. Like she has to, kind of obey the archetype, right? So she has to be a heel. So she has to use the sneaky ways to win and all that other stuff, which is super counterintuitive when you see what Raquel is and what she's able to do. So I think she's kind of hamstrung by that right now. I feel like when she is able to get out from under that and go on her singles run, that we'll see a lot more dominance out of her. Because when we have seen her in one-on-one matches before, she has gotten to go out and just be another Rhea Ripley-esque person. She just really hasn't. gotten a whole lot of opportunity against Rhea. It's mostly been the tag team stuff up to this point. So I don't know.
That's fair enough, and I do like what you said there. I really do, but I will say even going back to NXT, I feel like Rhea would go over her, and I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like you got to give her some push. I do agree with you. To fast forward to Raw, clearly that she's going to get an opportunity to keep the tag belt with Roxanne now, so they're still pushing her as a tag person. Totally fair point that you made there. So that's fine, but yeah, I don't know. At some point, I would like to see her pushed as a real powerhouse.
Yeah, same. All right, so moving on to the other street fight, I guess, or whatever. Wait, was it even a street fight? Thought it was. I don't know. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. They all kind of felt like street fights, let's be honest. It just kind of devolved during a lot of the matches, and I think that was for the benefit of the crowd. Um, but yeah, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I really liked the build up for this. Like just them going after like Karrion doing his backstage whisper campaign to everybody and just finally getting under the skin of Sami Zayn enough to where he's like, nope, you, me, Saudi Arabia, let's do this, kind of thing. Uh,
Yeah,
I really liked that build up, and I like the fact that they gave, Cross an opportunity to get in the ring and showcase what he can do outside of just doing whisper campaign stuff because, he is a decent wrestler, but he doesn't get any time in the ring. They just want him doing backstage stuff, which doesn't make any sense to me unless it's like a situation like this where you're going to bring him out there and have him settle it in the ring kind of thing. Um, which this was a good opportunity for that. Like you forget how good he can be in the ring, um, until you get to see him in there. And I felt like this was another opportunity where he got to kind of showcase those skills against one of the best in Sami Zayn. Because let's be honest, whether or not he's on top with a belt or not, like Sami Zayn is one of the best wrestlers in the world, like, and just has been for a very long time. So having Cross being able to get in there with the likes of Sami Zayn and still kind of hold his own and put on a good match, speaks well to his talent, I feel like.
yeah, I 100% agree with all of this. I'm for a fairly quick build up. I thought that this match did a good job. Karrion Cross is awesome. I'm a huge fan. I've liked him since I was introduced to him in TNA a long time ago. Um, Glad he had a great run in NXT. Would really like to see a better push for him on WWE. It seems like they're starting to at least consider it. I'm glad he finally got another PLE match. I feel like it's been a long time since he's had one. The only thing that would have made this sweeter to me, kind of like the last match we talked about, is I would have really liked to see Karrion go over. I know that they don't want Sammy to sink too low in the unofficial rankings in people's minds, but to me, Sammy could always bounce back, and Sammy's kind of made a career on bouncing back. If Sammy loses this match, I don't think it hurts Sammy that much. Karrion, though, like I definitely mean this much more passionately than Raquel. Karrion needs to start winning some matches because he'll build it up real nice, but once the bell rings, you know what's going to happen. He's not going to go over. It happened with AJ Styles recently. Happens with everybody he faces really on the main roster. So I don't know what his record is on the main roster, but I would guess it's overwhelmingly losses. I need to see this guy start getting some wins because he's got the character. I thought he looked cool as hell with the bald head. I love him with the long hair, man. It's a cool look. He's got,
It's
like I
really
said,
good.
yeah, he's got the charisma. He's a great character. Um, I really want to see them push him, and I hope that they do. Um, the universe is getting behind him a lot more, but overall, yeah, really good match. I like Sammy a lot too, so I'm not super pissed off at it or anything. But Carrie needs to start winning some of these bigger matches.
I agree with that. He's really come out on his own too. He's not. It felt like his initial run before he got released was he was really dependent on Scarlett to just either be there, um, uh, part of the vignettes, part of the for her to do the talking and the intros and stuff, and just him to kind of be more of a almost kind of like a Lesnar to her Heyman kind of kind of vibe, you know. Um, this
Yes and
time,
no. I mean, she doesn't speak a ton for him. She is a big part of that intro, though, and I loved the
right?
intro. I felt like I hadn't seen that intro in a minute, even though I'm sure I have. Maybe it's just because I hadn't seen it on a PLE, but to me, like the intro just slaps to me.
Oh, I'm talking about before though. Like before he got released, that's how it was.
Oh
Recently,
yeah,
since they brought him back, they've let him just be him out on his own, and he has not relied on Scarlett hardly at all. He's just been pushing the
no, you don't
storyline
hear her
with his
talk much at
own.
all.
Yeah, so I've been a big fan of this. We're actually getting, like you said, we get to get behind Carrion. The universe gets to see who he is, what he's able to do both on the mic and hopefully more of in the ring. But I absolutely agree with that fact. He has an atrocious win-loss ratio right now, and if they want to do anything with him, they really need to get him some winning sometime soon. I know that Sammy's getting pushed towards what feels like a world title, um, possibly sometime this year. But, you know, so with that, I get not wanting Sammy to drop down too much, like you said. But yeah, you got to give Cross some love on this, man. He's getting over with the fans. You got to give it to him. At some point, something's got to give.
I agree. And you know what? Even Sammy losing this match, if it makes him go down a little bit, that'll make his bounce back seem that much more special rather than him just kind of like floating near the top but not being on top. That
Yeah,
gets old after a while.
yeah, for sure. All right. Let's go with picking. All right, let's do the United States Championship because I actually have some opinions about this. Jacob versus Solo. Um, did not like the finish. Um, I'm all for Jacob 100%. And I really feel like they're mishandling Solo and their attempted Bloodline 2.0
Mhm.
storyline, which now it's like the Bloodline 2.0 2.0 or something.
Yeah,
It's
kind of.
kind of ridiculous. They're just like, oh, let's just keep pulling in people that, you know, are in that, in the family or whatever, and we'll just keep throwing them at the faction until we find something that'll stick. And eventually it'll be as good as Roman Reigns and his bloodline. And I'm like, it's not. It's never gonna be. And it's
Nothing will
getting
ever be.
no, and it's getting kind of old. Well, it's not kind of, it's old at this point. It's just, oh, look, Solo's out there. I wonder who's going to interfere. It's very reminiscent of like the first year, year and a half of Roman Reigns in the bloodline of him not being able to finish a match without outside interference kind of thing. Um, and it's almost like, oh, who are we gonna debut next? Every time Solo comes out or every time Solo has a match because he's going to have a new member of the bloodline that is a quote unquote surprise. So I'm over it. I didn't want to see Jacob lose the title. I kind of feel like that doesn't make any sense from from his point of view. Like, does he lose it? Now he's chasing it again, and now he has to basically go Jacob versus Solo's new bloodline, or like what goes on with that kind of thing. So I don't know what happens next for Jacob with that whole thing. We introduced I don't even I forget how to pronounce his name, but
I think they're calling him Talatanga, which is a
oh
little too
yeah,
close to Tamatanga. But and I get there's
yeah,
they're brothers apparently, but it was a little weird.
yeah. So I don't know. Like I'm not excited. Um, I think it was a missed opportunity, and to your point earlier, it's basically a glorified house show, right? I mean, like we could be watching a Raw with more pyro, essentially, is what we could have been
Yeah,
watching
right.
with this PLE. So. it makes sense that they debuted somebody in that manner, but yeah, just not I was just not a fan. Do what you can in the match. The match was fine. Solo's not bad in the ring. He's not my favorite. But that's mostly because of his mic work stuff. That's not necessarily what his, to speak of what he does in the ring or anything like that. As far as that concerned, I feel like he's pretty solid. So the match was fine. I didn't like how it all went down.
Yeah, it was okay for me. I think you just liked it a little bit more than me. I will say it's getting a little tricky to keep up with some of these new guys coming in. I've been familiar with all of them up until this guy. I used to watch a lot more New Japan and some overseas stuff and some lucha stuff. I kind of fallen off on that in the past few years. So when you bring this guy in, and it even seemed like the commentators were having trouble figuring out like what to call him. Like I think they said Tonga Loa first, but yeah, they're gonna call him I think Tala Tonga, which is really close to Tama Tonga. Who I don't know. It's fine. I'm interested. I'll say that I'm interested in this, but it didn't hit like a big debut that I think they kind of wanted it to feel like. I don't know if anybody in Saudi knew who this guy was. I was only semi sure who he was. I feel like I've seen some dirt sheets about him in the past, but I don't know. I'm going to be optimistic about it. I I do feel like we're picking the bones on the bloodline at this point, especially when Roman is hardly ever there, which is annoying too. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I like with this one. I would say I really don't know. I love Jacob Fatu. I like Solo. I agree with you. I think he's okay in the ring. I think he's been improving on the mic, especially because he's been a little funnier lately too. So I mean, like I said, I'm going to remain optimistic. I do not expect this to ever reach the height that the Bloodlines already reached because um, and we'll cover this in another episode, but spoiler alert, I would rank them among my favorite factions of all time in their prime days. But yeah, right now I feel like we're picking the bones, but I'm curious to see where we're going with this. I do think it has potential. I think it could go either way. I think it could flop, and I think it could reach heights all the way to pretty decent. So we'll see. We'll see on that one. Glad Jacob retained. I do love Jacob. So yeah, I
He
mean, and
didn't though. He lost.
he won.
No, Jacob lost. Solo's U.S.
Oh
champion.
yeah, shoot, he did. He did. Shoot. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's crazy. I just watched this a few days ago. Apologies, believers out there. Believe that I watched it because I did, but I don't know. I might have been a few cervezas deep at that point. But yeah, okay.
No, let's be honest, it felt like a Raw, and I think or it felt like a Raw or SmackDown, and I'm pretty sure he defended recently on one of those. So I
Yeah, yeah. I
let's be real
also
here. Everybody out there, if you watch any of the Saudi shows, they don't feel like PLEs. They just don't. From If you look at
no,
it
they
from like
don't.
it's just let's throw some stars on a house show and appease the people where the money's coming from. Like that's essentially what's going on. It's not anything that's really going to be a major PLE that's crazy good. And I think we all know that.
No, but yeah, to put a bow on this match, I would say one of the things that I'm most curious to see what they do is they seem to have Jacob starting to slowly align with Jimmy. I think that, eventually Roman's going to come back. You could get Jay on board for something, I assume. Like what I'm expecting to eventually happen is more Bloodline Civil War stuff, which again, I think has potential. It could go either way. It could flop. It could be pretty decent. We'll have to stay tuned, but I'm pretty sure that's the direction they're going with this.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited, but also I'm like, well, you kind of sewed that up at War Games a little bit, and then he got the UFO or awful. I forgot how
Ula
Ulafala.
Ulafala?
Yeah. Um, he got it back, and like it feels like they kind of sewed up that storyline. So now I'm like, well, like, are you gonna go back to the welts many times? Like, kind of think. I don't know. But time
Yeah.
will tell. So Queen
Yeah.
of the Ring. We had the Queen of the Ring final with Asuka and Jade Cargill. Not a fan. Not a fan. Uh,
Yeah, I get it.
I don't feel like Jade's ready. Um, I feel like she was outclassed by Asuka, and I'm not saying that Asuka needs the Queen of the Ring because she doesn't. She's Asuka, but also I don't feel like pushing Jade because I mean this is a guaranteed title shot, right? Like at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I don't think pushing Jade into the world title position or picture with her current level, like skill level, is the right move. She's just not that good. And she struggled to get the fans on her side at Saudi. She's kind of like the fans are kind of wishy-washy about her at any other show in the US that I've seen. Like she doesn't really have the backing of the fans 100%. Um, her skill in the ring is not where it needs to be champion. So I'm just like kind of why? Why are we doing this kind of thing? Um, but I don't write for WWE, so I have no idea.
Fair enough. I don't have a lot of issue with what you said, although I'm gonna disagree with it slightly. I agree with you. Asuka does not need this. I'm gonna say something, and I will get into it more for the men's King of the Ring too. I again, I'm a little bit of a wrestling purist. I like I have a bit of an old school mentality when it comes to some of the stuff. And I know that they brought the King of the Ring back a handful of times since its heyday in the 90s. But to me, I like a King of the Ring tournament to be a mid card guy who's about to get his break is, a main event guy. Typically, like you win King of the Ring, maybe you've had the IC title or US title and you're ready to make the next jump. To me, if you've already won the world title, you have no business being in the King of the Ring or the Queen of the Ring. Now, I understand times have changed, but it's a hard pill to swallow for me. So I'm always going to root against somebody who's never been a top champ versus somebody who has been a top champ. So for that, Asuka was already somebody who I wanted to lose this match. Now, as far as Jade, I agree with you. She still has a lot to be desired with in-ring work. I will give her this from her time in AEW, where she was just a really strong character who couldn't wrestle a lick. She has noticeably improved. You could tell that after she signed with WWE, the reason we didn't see her in the ring for a while was because she was probably putting in long hours at the performance center until they felt comfortable for her being at least semi up to standard. And I do think that she looks a lot better. This match had some botches. It wasn't a great match. Asuka's great in the ring, even though I've never cared at all about Asuka's character. I know that's an unpopular opinion. She can go in the ring. And I think she helped carry this match a lot. Jade's improving, so I'm okay with her winning this. And I think that Jade does still have a big following. Jade was huge in AEW. And I think what WWE was purchasing when they signed Jade was her character. So I think that this has got a lot of good potential. I think that Jade, and I'm not trying to sound like a broken record because I feel like I am throughout this pod show, um, but I think Jade is best as a heel. Now, you could say that about a lot of people, but Jade broke into this business as a heel. She was an outstanding heel in AEW. I want to see her kind of revert back to that eventually. I'm okay with him riding out the face thing for a little while. That way, when she does go heel, it feels shocking and exciting because her whole time in WWE, she has been a face. So I'm okay with it. I don't have any big issues with this. The match itself was mediocre, but I am okay with her kind of getting this push to the next level because her character itself, and I feel like character versus in ring work, it's like 90% character, 10% in ring work as far as importance in this business. So I mean, like, yes, you still have to improve. Being a good wrestler on top of a good character is a cherry on top. You can't go out there and not know what you're doing at all. I do think she's improving. So overall, I'm okay with this.
That's fair. I will give you all of those points. Um, my question is so she now gets the shot at SummerSlam, right? Which means she's going to go up
Yeah.
against Tiffy. She's going to go up against Tiffy at SummerSlam. What happens with that? Because if she wins, is Naomi just going to cash in on her starting up that rivalry, which would make sense from a storyline point of view? But then Jade literally won this so she could lose the belt, what, 30 seconds later, like kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
locks her into that title picture thing with Naomi, or does she go on to SummerSlam only to lose at Tiffin, like lose to Tiffy for Naomi to cash out after Tiffy gets, the crap beat out of her by Jade? Like either way, it doesn't seem like it ends well for Jade, and like kind of like why did why did she get Queen of the Ring in the first place? And was
Well,
it
I don't
literally
think
just a stepping stone just for that setup?
I do think that the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring are good accolades, especially if they actually start bringing them back annually rather than sporadically.
Yeah.
I mean, even if nothing comes of this, that's a great notch in her belt moving forward. I do love what you said about the Naomi thing because that was actually kind of at the back of my mind. So you bringing that up, I think that's absolutely what's going to happen. You could go a few different ways with that. Like you said, I think that what I'd like to see is Naomi kind of herself towards the end when they're both really beat up, kind of like what Seth did when he won his first when he cashed in. Kind of just go in and pick the bones. That way, Jade doesn't get the main title on her resume yet when she can't have any run. You could have Naomi come in, hit them both with the briefcase, cash in, and then pin whoever. I'm totally cool with that. I like it. Sounds good to me. You can go a few different ways with it, but honestly, Naomi's been doing a pretty good job. I'm okay if that's the direction they go. But yeah, I mean, great point. We'll have to stay tuned on that. But I definitely think that story that's kind of been on the back burner and kind of faded out, it didn't really come into full fruition. So I do think you can spark that back up with no issue.
Yeah, I think so too. Just that underlying rivalry sense is there, and I think it has the potential to blow up into something really, like really good. It feels kind of weird, and it might just because I'm not a huge Jade fan, and I might just be projecting on it myself, but just, trying to see down the line and stuff, and just kind of like where do the puzzle pieces fit and kind of thing. So I don't know. I think SummerSlam's going to be fun no matter what. I think
I think so too.
some cool stuff's gonna happen. Um, so yeah, have to wait and see. So speaking of SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes is going. We had the men's King of the Ring tournament final with Cody and Randy Orton, and things got a little I'm not gonna say heated, but um, you saw Cody kind of not holding back, not necessarily doing heel stuff, like not necessarily turning heel, but he wasn't being your squeaky clean Cody Rhodes that we're used to, you know? It's almost like he
Yeah,
wasn't hesitating to use the title this time, like he did with Cena, kind of thing. He's using the exposed turnbuckle that, Randy took off the turnbuckle, sure, but Cody used it. Um, those, just hitting him from behind, like those kind of little things. Just it was nice to see Cody not taking shortcuts, but not leaving anything on the table either. Um,
yeah,
that being said, I honestly like both of these guys are great. I love Cody, but I don't feel like, to your earlier point, I don't feel like Cody or Randy Orton should have been King of the Ring. I feel like it could have gone to Sammy. It could have gone to um I don't know. There was a bunch of other guys that were in the running that I was like, no, that's a great accolade. That makes sense. Let's push them. Let's give them that mid card feel, or that mid carder, that push to get them, that title shot and everything, get them in the main event. I don't feel like Cody or Randy needed it at all. Um, that being said, I am
yeah.
happy that Cody went over, although it was kind of, I was like, That's what I thought was going to happen. I didn't think that they were going to push Randy for another world title run right now when you have Cody waiting in the wings. And now he has, now he has John Cena again. So now we have a WrestleMania rematch scheduled for SummerSlam. So,
Yeah,
you know,
totally agree with everything you just said there. I really do. I think you hit it on the head. I think that a better King of the Ring finals actually would have been Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. That would have been a King of the Ring finals that made more sense in the traditional sense.
yeah.
But taking it for what it was, yeah, I thought it was a cool match. Once I could swallow that we're in a new era of King of the Ring, and if I try to accept that, this was a good match. I thought it could have gone either way. On the Cena farewell tour, he's already faced both of these guys. Um, I think that Cody, I just don't know what they're going to do with it, right? Because I don't think that Cena's going to lose until the end. So I'm not really sure how they're going to play this. I'm wondering, when Cody was talking at the end, Randy Orton gave real slight hints that maybe a heel turn could be coming, but it was so slight that I could easily be reading too hard into that. I don't know what they're going to do. I really have no clue. I'm very curious. I do think that we have some good storyline that could come out of this. And yeah, for what it is, totally fine. Thought it was a pretty good match. Thought the result was good. With anything that Cody's involved in, it's going to be top-notch storytelling, and you saw that throughout the match. You touched on some of it. I thought that they did a pretty good job with this match for what it had to be.
Yeah. Like I said, I agree with that. There's not really much else to say about it. Cody Rhodes wins. He's going on to SummerSlam. He'll face John Cena because that's, we know that's the title he's going to pick or whatever. So yeah, he's going to go
Yeah,
on. He's
of
going to face
course.
John Cena, and they're going to run it back from WrestleMania. And speaking of Cena, dang, my segues are not great today, but they're not bad. I'm just going to
They're
pat
not.
myself
No,
on the
they're
back
not
a little
bad. They're
bit.
not bad.
This,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
I think they're pretty good.
So we had the undisputed WWE Championship, uh, John Cena versus CM Punk. Uh, this went pretty much the way I thought it was going to go. As much as we love to see CM Punk beat John Cena, uh, we knew it wasn't gonna happen because, like you
Correct.
said, he's in his John Cena farewell tour. He's not gonna give it up until he's passing the torch on to somebody, right? Like to have
Yes.
him pinned right now, lose the title, he's not gonna get it back unless they were literally gonna give him an 18 or a 19, you know, time
Yeah.
champion, which there's really no need to. Literally nobody else in the history of ever is going to get to 17. Like, well, I
Well,
shouldn't
we've
say
we've
that.
had
I
we've had
shouldn't
this
say
debate
that.
before.
But
Yeah, we've had
yeah,
this
I'm
debate
saying
before. I don't. Yeah, I know.
in
In WWE, you're right.
in
You're right
WWE,
about that.
in WWE, you're right. The qualifier in WWE, I don't think anybody else is ever going to get to 17, let alone past that. So
Yeah,
it's
Orton's really close, and he's still active, but he's old, and I don't see him getting. What does he need? What does he have?
it's
14,
four.
15?
Yeah, I think he's at
Yeah,
14.
yeah. So
I
it's
think.
probably not happening for Randy.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't see Cena losing anytime before what probably Survivor Series. Honestly, like, and that sucks because I think we has what 13 more appearances left,
Something
something.
like that. That sounds about right.
Yeah. So I mean, realistically, you count out the PLEs, he's not going to be on every single one of them from now until then, and he between those and his appearances on Raw or SmackDown or whatever to talk up other stuff or cut promos or whatever. Yeah, I don't see him really losing it before then. And it's going to be to somebody that they build up the huge rivalry to. I'm assuming it might be Cody, as him kind of passing the torch to Cody, but honestly, I don't know. It could be somebody else. But
So yeah. So and you hit a lot of it on the head on this one too. I think that For a match result that was as obvious as it could be, I thought they did a brilliant job building this up. The history with Cena and Punk is rich, and even though it goes back like 14 years, the pipe bomb is what made CM Punk. He was, even though he had already had a couple world titles, he really was not that over until the pipe bomb. The pipe bomb made CM Punk into a megastar.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and and then for John Cena to a couple weeks ago do his own pipe bomb, I thought that was magnificent. For Punk to come out on the SmackDown before Night of Champions is word life Punk, like Punk life, like that was great. It was just a really well done build up. I thought it was fantastic. Like I said, we everybody who follows wrestling knew damn well Punk wasn't going to win this, but man, it was fun to watch it build to it. So that was great. I will say, to touch on what you were saying with, who's it going to be who finally dethrones Cena. I will say, I initially was positive it would have been Cody winning it back, but now that I've thought about it a little bit more, what I would expect to happen is I think Sammy's going to win the Royal Rumble, and I think Sammy is going to get his first big break over Cena. And that I think would be a lot better than Cody winning it back at the end. Like, don't get me wrong, Cody, I think, is today's most important wrestling figure. He's huge, and I love him. I'm not even saying that's a bad, like, he's the big deal right now. He will have other title runs, but I don't think that it should be this. I think that if you want Cena to pass this torch, it's got to be to somebody who's been grinding, somebody who the fans have wanted for a long time. And to me, that screams Sammy.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, that would be a big
I
deal.
I want to subscribe to this newsletter right now because that
Yeah,
sounds
that's
amazing.
how I would book it.
Is so just from a logistical point of view, is Cena's farewell tour extended out through next WrestleMania though?
I would guess, and I'm not sure about that, but I would guess that he's probably gonna be done at WrestleMania. If you're doing a farewell tour, that you know, I think that it'll extend a little bit to WrestleMania. I think your farewell tour that you're doing like a year long thing for, just go a little bit longer and make it end on the grandest stage of them all. I think that that's where you should do it.
I mean, there's not a better place to hang up your boots. Like if you're gonna go out for good, like that's the place to do it. So it
A
would make
hundred
sense.
percent.
So here's hoping. I really want that
Yep.
to come to fruition though. Like that sounds amazing.
I do too, and I haven't heard anybody else say anything like that. So if this does happen, you will hear me gloating maybe one full podcast about how right I was on that.
Absolutely. I'm gonna support him. That's what's going on. Heard it
Oh
right
yeah,
here, believers.
that's right. Heard it here first. Believe it.
Yeah. So that was Night of Champions. Like I said, nothing great. Nothing terrible, but
Yeah.
nothing great. As
For
far as
what
the
it is, it
story,
was decent. Yeah.
yeah. So the storylines going forward, like we have our people, like our King and Queen of the Ring going on to SummerSlam. We have the champions. Night of Champions is coming up. So we have Goldberg taking on Gunther. I'm guys, like I said, I could rant about this literally forever. Like I hate Bill Goldberg so much for just so many reasons. But
Yeah.
my number one concern is that he's gonna hurt Gunther and like legitimately hurt Gunther. And I am really worried about, like, I'm legitimately concerned about that happening. Like, I know it's not going to be a great match. Gunther's like, rip down or tear down of him on Raw yesterday, it was fantastic. Uh,
Oh yeah.
calling him out for his like 3 minute only, like his 3 minute matches, and he's
Right.
essentially telling him that he's gonna gas him out and take him into the weeds, like saying that he's gonna treat him like Regal did without saying it. kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
outstanding.
oh, so good. But I'm like, it's Goldberg. He's gonna get in there. He's gonna get an adrenaline dump, and he's so ring rusted that any skill he might have had before is already super compromised. Super compromised by his age and lack of working out as far as ring fitness goes and stuff. And then you cue in an adrenaline dump, and he's gonna hurt somebody. And I really, really am hoping that I'm wrong about that and that Gunther doesn't get hurt. But
Yeah, I
I'm,
agree with you.
oh
I
God,
think the no, go ahead.
no, just I'm seriously so worried about that because Gunther has such a good career ahead of him that
Yes.
I'm like, we like you said, like last podcast, like he ended Owen, like he ended Bret Hart's career.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
uh,
almost paralyzed the Undertaker. He's
yeah,
the to your point, the longer this match goes, the more high risk it becomes. I
yeah,
think I said it last podcast. My prediction is it's not a very long match. We'll probably get a 5 minute. I'm not saying I'm okay with it, but I'm understanding if Goldberg wins this and then Seth comes out and cashes it. Whatever. I feel like that's the main reason Gunther got this title back, kind of out of nowhere on Jay because they wanted to do this thing for Goldberg. Whatever. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big Goldberg guy. I never have been, and I watched WCW in his heyday. Never was a Goldberg guy.
no,
But I get it. I got it more. I got it more back then. You're trying to build a star, so I was okay with him getting the big. I understood him getting the big push. Now I don't think we need this. I did not need a Goldberg farewell tour right now at all. He's. I'm not going to sit here and say though. He's not. He hasn't become a big staple in this business because he has been. He's a big name. Most people, even if you're not a wrestling fan, knows who Goldberg is, and there's not a lot of people you could say that about for non-wrestling fans. So if he wants to have a last match and you want to give him the title, again, I'm not saying that I would sign off on this if I was uh, the power guy, but whatever. As long as the saving grace would have to come from Seth cashing in right afterward, and I would be fine with
yeah,
that. So we'll see what happens there.
yeah. If Gunther has to lose it, just let it be so Seth can take it.
Yes.
Like I want if that is the case, I want Goldberg's reign to last less than 3 minutes. Like, I think that would only be fitting. If he
Yeah.
does
No.
take it, it's like, oh, he's there, and literally within 45 seconds, he gets, goes in, smashed on by, by the guys. He gets super speared, which would be fantastic for him.
Yeah.
Tsunami stomped, and then just boom, all within the realm of like 45 seconds would just be fantastic. Like that's what I want out of
Yeah.
life.
You can do it in a way that doesn't make it like you could have Goldberg beat him in 5 minutes. You could have Gunther get up pissed off, attack Goldberg, beat the shit out of him, and then you hear Seth's music hit, have him come out. It could work. It could work.
I just want Gunther, like if that's the case, like after like Gunther just beats him down out of anger, Seth's music
Mhm.
hits, and then Gunther just holds the ropes open for Seth.
That would be awesome. That
That
would
would
be
be
awesome.
amazing. Yeah, in
Yeah.
case you guys haven't noticed, I do not like Bill Goldberg. So whatever.
Yeah. I
Um,
get it. I'm with you.
so yeah, we have stuff to look forward to before SummerSlam because SummerSlam's like what, a month away, something like that. Later this month, something.
Something like that. I don't know the exact date, but it's obviously
Yeah.
coming up.
Until then we have Saturday Night Main Event and Evolution,
Mhm.
which seem to be shaping up okay. We're gonna see Gunther and Goldberg. Then we're also for Evolution, we've got it confirmed that we're gonna get Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, which is gonna be a good match. At least it should be a good match. We're also going to get the tag the women's tag match, right? Like you said earlier,
Yep.
Roxy's now teaming up with Raquel.
Yep.
So we'll see how that works out. I like this storyline for the Judgment Day of just inserting Roxy in and just kind of screwing stuff up a little bit. And because they have the
I don't
opportunity.
like when they do that. I
I
don't like when they do it.
I like
Like
it.
just
It's adding a little bit of
ha-
drama in there. If it doesn't rip apart the Judgment Day, because I love the Judgment Day,
oh
if it
no,
doesn't
oh
rip them
so
apart, I'm cool with it.
so for them, I'm okay with them voting Roxanne and officially like I'm okay with that stuff. I don't like when they like have a tag partner go out and then they just insert a new one in there. Like at least have them have a match for the vacated titles because I don't know what that does for like the actual lineage because they didn't like Roxanne never won it, so it's just weird to me how they do that. Like have them have a match for the vacated titles, like them versus the number one contenders, and then just have them win it. I feel like that's the easier way to do it. But yeah,
That's fair.
I do like that Roxanne is with Judgment Day now because obviously when Liv comes back, that's going to be an issue. Dom being one of the people who voted her in is going to be an issue. So yeah, you're going to have some good drama on that. I mean, even Raquel teaming with her, like this is going to cause some issues for Liv, and I'm very curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Because
I like how.
Roxanne, by the time Liv comes back, Roxanne will have won Judgment Day over.
Oh yeah. I like how also Dom wasn't like a yes, it was a alleged yes.
Yeah,
So
right,
he's like
right.
still trying to cover his own ass kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Um
exactly.
yeah, and I love the power struggle between him and Finn Balor right now. It's just like Judgment Day
Yes.
has so many good storylines going on right now that it's just like I love it. I really do.
Oh yeah,
Um
and they got a ton of titles right now. So like
yeah.
they were kind of floundering there for a minute, but they're kind of back right now.
Yeah. I'm wondering though, like if Liv comes back, like let's say Roxy and Raquel are successful, right? Like they maintain the titles and they hold it until Liv comes back. Do they get to then just convert over? Like does Liv, kind of change her mind and then they become to like they just get to pull like New Day and just defend it under Freebird rules or what? Like
That's a great question. Honestly, but I'm positive that that's going to be something that comes up.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, I'm absolutely curious how they're going to do that.
Yeah, because I would love that also. Like, I would love to see Liv and Raquel and Roxy just three-man tag essentially and just, run the division. That would be great.
That would be
But
great. But yeah, I mean, especially like with the tensions between, yeah, that'd be good to see.
yeah. So we got a couple of weeks. So they haven't announced who their opponents are going to be, but we do know that they are going to have a four-way tag team they just say elimination match. They just said a fatal four-way essentially. Um, with Raquel and Roxy, and then we're getting a tag team from Raw, a tag team from SmackDown, and a tag team NXT, correct?
I
Like
think so. I
I
think
think
so.
that's what it
Yeah,
was.
because
And
they
they
said they
haven't
wanted them
announced
to prove
anybody.
themselves.
Yeah, yeah, they wanted them to prove themselves as you know, as the tag champions. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that too then, because they haven't announced who the tag teams are at all, other than Raquel and Roxy. So I don't know. There's
Yeah,
Evolution is turning out pretty good right now, guys. Like
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah.
Um,
I didn't have any interest in the first one. I'm not going to pretend I did, but I'm much more interested in this one.
yeah. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of what other kind of storylines that we haven't really touched on yet. We're seeing the
I
rise of
think we covered
Sammy.
most of it. Yeah,
Yeah, we're seeing the rise of Sammy. Solos. I mean, honestly, until we get Roman back, the Bloodline stuff is kind of it's a non-starter for me. If Roman's not there, I don't care. Like you're
I do
building
think we're going to get
up.
them back soon.
I think so, but I mean, like until then, you're building up a faction for what purpose? Just to have a faction, and it's the family thing. It's already been done 100 times, and realistically, it if it's a bloodline thing and it's not a civil war, like I don't really know that I care enough. It's like I sat through like almost 3 years of the bloodline with under Roman, and now we have like the Timu version under Solo, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't care. Uh,
Yeah, I think it has to go to Civil War, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes because they've done this before, so we'll have to see.
yeah. All right. Power ranking updates, shall we?
All right. Yes, we shall.
All right. I'm gonna lead off with the guys this time. I'm gonna switch it up.
Okay.
So at number 5, I have Solo Sokoa. Um, I will say that they have been focusing on him more, and with them giving him the ability to kind of be funny, like you mentioned, and not just trying to be super badass serious in a suit for whatever reason. Um, he's gotten to open up a little more and give a little more personality to his character, and they are showcasing him more. He's obviously the United States champion now, so they're giving him a little bit of a push. So I feel like he deserved to get on the list because he wasn't even on the list last time.
Fair enough.
Um, at number 4, surprise entrant that I never thought I'd be saying, JD McDonough. Um,
Totally fair. Totally fair.
I I was never a fan of JD. I felt like he was just a side character in the Judgment Day that was relegated to jobbing for people. And since his comeback from injury, he has been phenomenal in the ring. Like his ring work has just been absolutely astounding. It's been really, really
He's really
good.
good in the ring.
His tagging chemistry with Finn has also been really good. I really enjoy watching them as a tag team. Did not enjoy watching them win the tag team titles from New Day, but that's because I am
That
now
was
and
devastating.
forever have been and forever will be a fan of the New Day. Um,
Holler at your
so
boys.
holla at you boys. They yeah, I wasn't a fan of them winning, but I feel like it was done really well. Like it was the same way that New Day kind of won over the War Raiders, right? They were just a better tag team. It wasn't necessarily a fault of the other one. It's just the tag chemistry was better, and that's how it was portrayed in the match. That was the same way this one, like JD and Finn just were just a better tag team that night. So, yeah,
Yeah.
uh, big head and all, Lord Farquaad has now made it onto the list at my number
Oh
4. Um, Number 3, Cody. Um, he's a staple. He's not going to be at the close or close to the top of the list or whatever, but solid choice at number 3. He won King of the Ring, so he's going on for another title shot and stuff. So can't leave him off the list, but he's not necessarily my number 1. Number 2, I had Sami Zayn for obvious reasons. He's getting his push. They're giving him a lot more airtime, and he's doing some really good stuff. Like I haven't seen them really focus this much on Sammy since he was in NXT right before he won the NXT title.
mhm.
And that was a great version of Sammy in my mind. Like that's one of his best ones was when he was the underdog in NXT chasing that title. So the fact that it kind of has that same fight feel, quote unquote, right now, I'm a fan of. I'm really excited, and I really, really, really want to see Sami Zayn win a title so I can, just run around dancing to some ska as he's,
Yeah, right.
as his entrance music plays when he hoists the title over his shoulder. And then in number 1, uh, you know it, you love it, the visionary himself, Seth Rollins. Oh, I'm sorry, Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh
Still
yeah.
much, Mr. Money in the Bank. He's going to be a world champion because he just is. He has one of the best factions in wrestling right now. And everything about his storyline right now is captivating to me. Like, I've always been a fan of Seth, but this is really fun. right now. I'm having a really good time with this. So with him just waiting in the wings and everything like that for him to cash in. Also, his briefcase is sick. Uh, the
Yeah,
paint job they did on that one is really nice.
I
So
agree.
yeah, Seth comes in at number one for me.
All right, no, totally cool. I like your picks. Mine differs a little bit, but honestly, no strong issues with that list there. My five, I'm actually going to go Jacob Fatu. Now, I get you putting Solo there. I didn't do honorable mentions this week, but I think Solo would be a fair one. Jacob, I'm putting there for the main reason that well, for one, I love his character. I love him in the ring. Also, this is the first time where he's been kind of pushed as an individual. He's always a side guy. He's been a side guy for Solo since he came in. He's kind of getting a chance to do his own thing a little bit now, and I'm digging it. So Jacob gets five. Uh, four, and it might seem a little low on the list, but I'm going to put Cody there. He is bouncing back up. Like I said, he's still the quarterback of this company. So I've gotta keep Cody on this list. He's four for me right now, just because he's not in the main scene or anything, but he's doing really solid work still. So Cody at four. Three, I'm gonna go Punk, and a lot of it has to do with this build up with John Cena. I might have mentioned this on a previous podcast. I didn't think there was any chance I would ever like CM Punk again. He's clearly just a true asshole. Cena did a good job exposing him as a hypocrite. Like during this rivalry, this feud, which I thought was another really great aspect of it. But his work since coming back to WWE has been great. He's been a real team player. He's been running with everything they've given him. I think he's been doing a really good job. So I'm going to put Punk at three. Two, I'm going to put Seth. Pretty much for all the reasons you said. Nothing to add to it. I think that Seth's doing a great job. And honestly, if my prediction comes to fruition, he could be competing for that number one spot. My number one spot right now, and this is another one. I would have never guessed I'd do this because I have never liked John Cena. I really haven't been. I've never seen her. But he is doing such phenomenal work in this farewell tour as a heel. It's incredible. Like it's just such good work. And touching back on what I was just saying about Punk, like he just hit everything on the head. His pipe bomb was so good. A nice nugget for longtime fans. So right now, Cena gets my number one spot.
That that is a great list. Honestly, if I was to bump everyone down, uh I could bump Solo off and move Cody and JD down and put Cena at three. Just because
That's
like
fair.
he's doing a fantastic job and I really like not look I love the farewell tour stuff. It was good with him as a face. He was still working, working the fans and everything. It was great. We finally got the heel turn that we've been asking for decade. Um, and nope, and it's not what we expected because it's not the Doctor of Thugonomics that everybody thought it would be, but it's so good. And just yeah, like you said, he's doing everything right. So I didn't include him
Yeah.
just because he's not on enough. I feel like he's not on TV enough just because his appearances are limited. Um, so that just for me, that's why I didn't include him. But I very easily could include him in there. I am surprised to hear that he is number one and that Punk made your list at all. Like that is surprising.
Oh yeah. No, and you know what? That's credit to the writing staff because these are two guys who I never thought I'd be on board for, and they got me on board. And even going back to Cena, like even when he started this farewell tour as a face, man, there were Easter eggs or there were nuggets where like he kind of was a little heelish. Like he announces like the farewell tour is going to start on this date. He shows up once in like the next month and a half, and everybody, including me, is like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, why? Like, he announces this farewell tour and then he doesn't do anything with it, and then he announces that he's going to be, in these matches, and he's saying, "I deserve it because of this. I deserve it because of that." Um, and it's like, wow, shit! Like, you didn't really have to like for the Elimination Chamber. Like he didn't have to qualify, and he was basically like, "Oh, I'm John Cena," like, and that was heelish. So when he finally turned heel, even though I didn't think it was ever going to happen, like they kind of did lay a little bit of a foundation. They are just doing a beautiful job of this. So yeah, I like I said, Cena's won. He's been doing everything right. He's been taking me on a great journey with it. And yeah, Punk, I don't know how long he's going to be on the list, but that rivalry, like I was mentioning earlier, was just so perfectly done by both of them. I would be remiss not to have them both on my list for at least this update of the power rankings.
Super fair. I respect everything about that. All right, so moving into the ladies. For number 5, I have Lyra. Even though she lost the belt, they're keeping her in this rivalry where it seems like it's just boiling down to a triple threat, right? Between her, Bailey,
Mhm.
and Becky for the
It
IC
certainly
belt.
seems that seems after Raw exactly what they're probably gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for that to happen. Um, from which I don't know. Like Bailey doesn't need it. She's a Hall of Famer. Like she's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. She doesn't need the
Yes.
IC belt. She's already a Grand Slam champion. She's the first women's Grand Slam champion. This would literally just be another feather in her cap for something that she doesn't really need. But as an absolute fan of Bailey's, I want her to have that mark. Like I don't care if it makes sense or not, like kind of thing. Um,
I'm with you.
so yeah, I want Bailey to win it. I don't necessarily want her to win it at the expense of Lyra not getting it because, Lyra is just starting out her career in WWE and still has a long way to go and can really do a lot of good for that belt. Um, kind of as that mid-card grinder kind of person. So we'll see what happens, but I do like that they're keeping her in the picture even though she lost it to Becky. And at the
Yeah.
same time, like having Becky kind of there, but kind of not there at the same time. Like the focus has really been on Bailey and Lyra, not Becky,
Yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah.
So it's been really good. I've really enjoyed the storytelling with that. Um,
Agreed.
for number 4, it's gonna be Rhea. You can't discount mommy. Just can't do it. Um, she's getting her main event push, obviously. She's getting her title shot at Evolution and everything. I I don't know. I agreed with you before. Like I really enjoy heel Rhea a lot more than face Rhea. But overall, I just kind of enjoy Rhea.
I get it.
She's
And yeah,
she
I feel like she's just built to be a heel, Like she's
yeah
built that way.
yeah for sure. Um, so yeah, I think they're keeping her active. They've been treating her well. I think that she's gonna move up in the rankings, once she does get the title back, because she's gonna get it back at some point. Um, but yeah, just right now, just kind of for the little bit of quote unquote limbo as it is. Um, in the meantime, she's just holding on to a number 4 spot for me. Um, number 3 is Asuka. Her getting in or coming back and doing as well as she did in the Queen of the Ring tournament,
Mhm.
getting all the way to the finals and stuff. Her showings have been consistent, and I really like that they were just kind of like giving her that push and, like, hey, yeah, welcome back. Get back out there, show us what you can do, get in front of the fans, and the fans, welcomed her back and everything. I have been a fan of Asuka since NXT. Um, having the another like a woman that's doing strong style is
Yeah.
not typical of what we get in the business. So having one was really really refreshing for me, and I mean she's a great mat technician as well. So I love watching her matches. um they're a lot of fun. She's a fun character. I really don't like the poison mist thing though, but I just have opinions about that in general anyway. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
Asuka getting her push, going through right now, seeing where it goes and everything. But right now, she's just middle of the pack at number 3 for me. Number two, my role model Bailey. Um, she's in the IC title picture, like I said before. I mentioned it. I want her to get the belt, and I just want to see more Bailey. That's really all I want. I love watching her wrestle.
100%.
I love the storylines and what she brings to them. Right now, she's kind of back in the almost kind of back in that underdog Bailey vibe. I was like, I'm a crowd favorite, and I don't have the belt, and I'm chasing it, kind of thing. And I mean, that's what she built her career on. So before she was damage control role model Bailey, she was you know Bailey with the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men out
Yep.
there.
Yep.
So this is the kind of like her bread and butter, and I'm digging it. I'm here for it, and all the Bailey we can get, I'm here for.
And
And it,
she's somebody who's a great face and a great heel too. It's noteworthy
yes,
because not everybody. It's easy. I do think it's easier to be a heel, but like to be a good face and a good heel is noteworthy. Not a lot of people could pull it off really well. She's one of the few exceptions to that.
yeah, like out of the four horsewomen, I think her and Sasha were the ones that were able to pull it off the best. Uh,
Yeah, that's
Charlotte,
fair.
Charlotte, I don't feel ever really was able to pull off being a face.
She couldn't, man. The crowd wouldn't get on her side. Like
Yeah.
she's just like even though I feel like character wise she probably could do it, the crowd won't accept it. So yeah, I agree. And Becky, like ever since she went towards the man, like it just feels weird and like I don't mind her as a heel, but like the face thing never felt right to me.
Yeah, like it felt okay. Like on my like, I received it. I was okay with it. I'm like, okay, you're getting over kind of in that weird, like in like not weird, but like in that the crowd has chosen you like Daniel Bryan way.
For sure.
And she kind of
I just
rode
wish
that.
that Yeah.
But
I just
now
wish that
she
WWE
feels
wasn't afraid. Sorry. I
no, no,
like real
no.
quick. I just feel like WWE shouldn't be afraid to let their heels be well liked. Like I feel like just because you're like a well liked heel doesn't mean you got to turn them face. It just means that they're playing this character really well. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like it feels right now like she's trying to do a different heel, like this weird paranoid cowardice heel kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And you can tell she's out of her element. Like it almost feels like when you're watching her, you can see that it almost feels like she's swimming in the deep end, right? Like
I agree.
she's up there, she's maintaining, she's treading water and stuff like that, but she's not able to just stand on it in the shallow end like she was before. She's like having to work at it a little bit. And you can see it's like the little cracks there that it doesn't really fit. Like I would just rather her just go out there and be like a total badass and just like a bitch
Oh
to
yeah.
everybody, that kind of heel. Like I would much
She
rather
was.
that because that fits. Like that seems like
Yeah.
it's a natural fit. This type of heel doesn't work for her. And you could see that she's struggling. She's making it work because she's that talented, but it's not her element.
Yeah, I agree. I liked when they had her kind of being like, and this was years ago now, but like a stone coldish heel.
Hmm.
I thought that was working for her before they turned her like all the way face, but like she was bad, but the crowd was behind her. No, the thing is like she's not stone cold, right? Like not many people, if anybody, could do what Stone Cold did, but she was
Right.
close. And I thought they should
Yeah.
have just ran with that a little harder.
Yep. Or even when she was what was it when before well, I think it was a little bit after she had her kid and stuff when you're just coming back and she was heel and she was like the super overly um intricate like entrance gear and stuff like that where it's like crazy like she was like
Yeah.
fashion Becky and stuff and she was just like cold-hearted about it. That
Yes.
worked. That worked for me. It was like, oh, you want heel Becky, like that's what you want. This one where she's walking around clutching her title all paranoid and everything, like I'm not
It
for it. And
doesn't
then
it
when
doesn't hit. Yeah, it's not hitting.
right, because she her style in the ring, she can't like adapt her style to make it work in that cowardice way. She goes in and she's a badass because she is. Like she's really good in the ring. It
Right.
doesn't translate. So it's just that weird disconnect for me that I'm like, doesn't quite fit. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you were absolutely correct. Bailey was able to do both almost flawlessly, it seemed like just effortlessly, and get the crowd on her side no matter what. I also liked that even though she came back as a face, she was still taunting Michael Cole, just harking
Yeah,
back to that
it's a
entire
must.
like, yeah, that years and years and years long like storyline that's going on there. It's it's the little things like that. Those little details just they get
I
me. They
agree.
get me.
I need Bailey to always hate Michael Cole no matter what
Right.
she's doing.
And even if she's not hating on Michael Cole, just going over and questioning Michael Cole or yelling at Michael Cole from the
Yeah,
ring for whatever reason, just
yeah.
that. That's all I want. I want her to be calling out Michael Cole during her acceptance speech on the Hall of Fame. Like that's what I want
Oh,
out of
dude,
Bailey.
yes, a must. A must. Absolutely. Great thinking.
Yes, with Michael Cole inducting her like that. That
Yeah.
yeah. Yes. All right. So enough bird walking here. Number one, Roxy. Roxanne
Okay.
Perez freaking killing it since getting called up. Lining her like I feel like putting her in with the Judgment Day was an absolute banger of a decision. Um, she was a complete natural fit. She's working that storyline so well, and her in-ring abilities are just fantastic. Like, she's a prodigy for a reason, right? It's
Yes.
not just a nickname. It's a thing. So with everything that she is. She's now a champion, which is fantastic. Like I get that it's a technicality, but hey, she came up. She's on the main roster. She's a champion, tag
Yes.
champion. She's getting just massive push right now, and I feel like it was just she's doing so well, and I just really, really enjoy watching her. And all the storylines and stuff that she's in. So she has my number one spot for right now.
No, hey, you know what? So again, my list is going to look a lot different than yours, but I do have to say, man, I like the list. I like your reasoning. Good list.
Thank you.
So for me, five, Lyra. She, I don't know. Like Lyra has something that's missing for me. I don't really know what it is, but I do like her. I think she's got a ton of potential. She's good in the ring. She's really not bad at all on the mic, and she's staying in this angle very well. I think, as much as I'd like to put, I'm a big mark for Chelsea Green. I'll put her as my honorable mention this week. She had to get bumped. She's just not doing that much of importance right now. But I have to put Lyra in at five. Four, I think we just talked about it a lot, so I won't go too much more into it. But four, even though it might seem a little low on my list, I have Bailey for all the reasons we were just talking about. I'd say I have her lower because she's just kind of bouncing back into it. She was off TV for a minute. She's coming back in pretty strong. So I definitely have her on my list. She can definitely move up depending on how things go soon. I'm hoping she wins this IC title. If she does, she'll definitely get a bump on my list. But right now, I'm going to put her soundly at 4-3. I have Jade. I know we have some differing opinions on Jade, but she just won this Queen of the Ring. We were talking about it earlier. I think this could set up, some important things for her down the line. But that's a big accolade, for her to win this Queen of the Ring. So I have to have her on my list at 3.
Full
So
disclosure,
now,
full
yep.
disclosure, she almost made my list.
No, that's
Because of
cool,
the
man.
push that she's getting, I couldn't I couldn't do it. I couldn't put her on there when I had literally everybody else on there. I was like I was looking at the list. I'm like I can't really bump anybody
And to
for
be fair,
Jade
you
kind of
you
thing.
you did just talk some good shit about her. So like, it would be a little weird. Like, I'm not surprised she's not on your list, but I'm hoping she wins you over and she gets on your list one of these days. But
I
you know,
I'm I'm
we'll see.
optimistic. Like you said, she's working, she's getting better. I just don't feel like she's there yet. But I am
And her push
optimistic for
doesn't
her.
seem forced either. Like it doesn't seem like a forced push. Like she's slowly been working her way up. Like this is really like the first big push she's gotten. Like she's been lightly pushed since she's come in, but this is the first time it feels like she's actually kind of getting some real solid push towards the top. So yeah, I had to put her on my list. Two, I'm gonna put Roxanne. Uh, we've been talking about it. I don't love that her first title on the main roster was something that she didn't win, but I love what she's been doing. I love, her and Julia came in and it was kind of soft, and they were losing and they were getting their asses kicked, and you're like, oh man, these two were big deals on the NXT roster. They were big deals before they even got to the company, and now they're on the main roster, and it's almost like they're getting some McMahon treatment here. Like they're just going to get buried as soon as they get up here. But no, quick turnaround. Roxanne's in. I like what she's doing with the Judgment Day. I like, they're sprinkling in a lot of like future drama things with the Judgment Day. So Roxanne gets my number two. Number one is Julia, the other person who I was just talking about. It's crazy how I thought these two were going to get buried. And so quickly they've had a strong turnaround. Julia just won the women's U.S. championship, and I don't usually love when wrestlers do this, but she was kind of shitting on it too. But she's doing a good job, and she's really good in the ring. And even though I thought aesthetically she looked good with like her hair regular, now that it's braided up, I love it. I think it's a cool look. Um, I'm very interested in her character and how they're going to continue pushing her. I think she's going to wind up being I don't mean this in a negative way because she's a gorgeous woman, but I expect her to become kind of a bulldog in this division where I think she's going to start eating people up and rising to the top pretty quickly. So I have Julia number one for this round.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. I I haven't seen a ton of Julia, and what I have seen of her, I have been really impressed with. Like you said about the Bulldog thing, like she does seem like she's like her in-ring style, she's just going to fuck some people up.
Yeah,
Metaphorically
yeah,
speaking, kind of thing, but she does look like she's just gonna run through people in that division, and and it's always nice when it's not like when it's not a powerhouse person that does that because she is just that skilled. I think that's kind of one of those things what really brought me to Asuka in NXT and stuff like that because you have this, like a woman of, like a medium to smaller stature, but just absolutely phenomenal in the ring and just like
yes,
running through people and like making it believable, not like in a Braun, breaker kind of way where they're just like, I'm invincible and I'm just gonna shrug everything off. But like legitimately having great matches, great in-ring style, and just bringing something new and energizing to the division. So, no, wholeheartedly agree with that. Fantastic list. Um, yeah, well done, sir.
thank you, and back at you. Yeah, I'm excited to see how these lists continue to evolve with everything still kind of pretty much up in the air right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be. I'm intrigued and I'm excited for the next to see what unfolds over the next month. I
Hmm.
think we're gonna get some resolution at some of the, at like Evolution and Saturday Night Main Event. I think they're also gonna punt some storylines down the road a bit, and then
Hmm.
setting some more stuff up for SummerSlam. So I think the next couple of months here are going to be really interesting. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, as am I. Definitely a lot of, and I agree with you. I think we'll get the resolution at Evolution, and then yeah, Saturday night main event with the whole Goldberg angle. We'll see what happens with that. So yeah, we got some good things on the horizon. A lot to talk about.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we'll just let it be, right? We'll keep
Yep,
watching and see what happens. So from us here at Make Us Believe, I am Michael.
I'm John.
Don't stop believing, guys.